Hey guys, can y'all comment or something so I know that you're like here? Who's here? No, guys. No. All right, when we get to I'll actually get started. So wake your friends up. Send them a text message. We hit 5. We're live. 5. Yay! Hey, Katha. All right, so I guess what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to keep this hangout open and then chit chat with y'all and broadcast at the same time. I think I can do that. This is a lot better than telling everybody to mute, so I'm cool with this. All right. Can you hear me better than yesterday, guys? Thank you, Kalia. I'm trying. It'll probably be different tomorrow. Welcome to spring break. All right. I'm gonna practice sharing my screen with y'all. So while we're waiting on everybody else to log in, I'm just gonna go ahead and work on. See if this is any better. Okay. How can we do this effectively? Alright. And here goes nothing. Let's see. Your entire screen. Wonderful. Share. And we are making progress. So let's see if y'all can see. If you can see my screen, just hit me up with a little bit of a message so that I know you can see my screen. Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, this is so cool. All right, well, since you don't want to respond and you're taking your time, I'm going to go ahead and start recording. And the cool thing about this process is that if you miss something, if you didn't hear something, it will be saved, unlike our conversation yesterday. So just yesterday, everybody is to go in. You'll have one small reading passage every day. It takes about 25 minutes and you're really done. I'll be online from 12 till 2. I may not be videoing all the entire time. However, I will be available for you to ask me questions. If you need help on something or you want me to go over something with you, I'll be available for you to do that. But you do have to request it. I'm not going to just sit there and stare at the computer for 2 hours. I want you to tell me what you need so that I can help you with it. Just a few things I wanted to go over with you. First of all, this was a pretty cool passage. Did anybody enjoy it? No? Okay. Uh, all right. Well, since I'm not gonna get any feedback, Merry Christmas. One thing I wanted to bring up. Okay. Apparently, thank God for cell phones. I cannot see your messages on my computer, but I can see them on my cellular device. So I'm gonna have to be creative. This is so wonderful. So you guys can keep, and I'll keep teaching. Can anybody tell me one thing that they really enjoyed about it? Anything that they found interesting, that they learned that they didn't know before they read? All right. So I'm just gonna kind of go through the questions that a lot of people missed. Most people got one right. I had very few people miss question number one. It simply said select paragraph that suggests why some parts chose not to have interactive games. The keyword is not. On the milestones, it may or may not be capitalized, so keep that in mind. Read the question twice. If you have to use your highlight tool, please do, because I don't want you to miss a question because we didn't read the question correctly. So make sure that you're reading and you're highlighting the important information in here. So for us, the important information would be parts chose not to have interactive games. Okay. Um, Next question. This a lot of people miss. I'm not quite sure why. It said choose the paragraph in the section virtual reality games, both popular with millennials, that best highlights virtual reality developers are trying to achieve and to attract millennials. If you were online during the time that we were discussing, Catherine read this for us and we chose the answer together. It says these attractions are created for the growing number of young gamers. Designers saying the challenge is to create an even better experience than what the visitors might get at home. Anybody have a question about number two? Let's see what you guys said. You guys said that you like that they build and make other things according to virtual passage to read, how parks are using VR. Has anybody experienced VR personally? Like you actually have been in a VR like video game, you have one of the headsets at home. Anybody been to Universal Studios lately? What? We selected the wrong answer. See, that's why we need to read. Pray for Miss Witt. Awesome, guys. Um, Universal Studios, I didn't ride very many rides because Miss Witt doesn't like to ride rides. But one thing I noticed was that they had the Transformers. 97% of that is virtual reality. It's pretty cool. It makes you feel like you're in the car, but you're not in the car. All right. So the other thing I wanted you to do is I'm going to pull up the Google Classroom questions. Um, I don't know what I typed in, but it's not Google Classroom. So y'all pray for me. All right, classroom. So in the sources, and this is the wrong one. Excuse me. I put the resources for you guys to practice and go over the actual milestones practice. So I'm going to go over. Yes, we got 33 people. Our goal is to have all 50 people, 58 people signed up by the time we end. If you guys could scroll with me and open up the Georgia Milestones assessment guide, not the study guide, the assessment guide. Yes, Daquan. What's your question, baby? Go ahead and scroll down to the assessment guide. There's a lot in here. We are going to scroll down to page 18. Okay, so scroll down to page 18 for me. It says movies and television or reflection. All right. What you'll notice is you'll have two paired passages that are very similar, and then you'll automatically be asked to write something. The first thing you do is that you look for what you are expected to write. And right now it says, now write your argumentative essay. So we know that an argumentative essay has several parts to it. Can anybody tell me or type the main parts of an argument in the group chat? What are the main parts of an argument? So the first thing you have is your claim, and then you're going to have the reasons that support your claim. Okay? So let's read the first one. It says movies and television reflect society because they tell stories about our social world. People enjoy stories about that world because they connect with stories. They enjoy stories about other people, especially if it involves cheering for people who work their way out of tough situations. Very good, guys. Consider the television station comedy about middle class family. The parents and their three children have many from many true life experiences. Their exaggerated ups and downs are humorous, but together the family survives. Reflects society by showing a world to which most people can relate. Sometimes the characters in the story are not people. Consider a cartoon movie about a lion family. The plot seems to be based on real animals. Male lions are competing to be the head of a family. However, these lions also have names. They talk to each other, they sing, they show human emotions. In other words, it reflects society by portraying true family relationships. Sometimes writers include elements of modern society in movies and television. They believe this helps more viewers imagine being part of the story. For example, consider a movie about a pirate who is both foreign and familiar. He can sail a tall ship, but he likes to stretch rules. He appears to be from the 1700s, but he behaves much more like a modern teen. Many parts of his character are clearly drawn from the experiences of real people. The movie reflects both historical and modern society. These examples are similar to movies that have been popular with their audiences. They show that the best movie and television writers draw from the experiences of real people. When the characters and stories reflect our society. Movies and television. We're at a Before we go on to the next passage, we need to read what question we're expected to answer. Now that television, a reflection and positive influence, please create your plan for your argumentative essay. Think about the facts, definitions, details, and information examples you want to use. Think about how you will introduce your topic, what the main topic will be for each paragraph. And be sure to identify the sources by the title or number when using details or facts directly from the sources. Write an argumentative essay supporting either side of the debate in which you argue that television and movies reflect society or that they influence it. Wow. Okay. So I need somebody to tell me in your own words, what are the two sides that we could argue here? It says write an argumentative essay supporting either side of the debate in which you argue that television and movies reflect society or that they influence it. What are the two sides you can choose? Okay, we can be for or against, but what can we be for? Let's be specific. Are we for or are we against TV? Is that what it's asking us, or what exactly is it asking us? Because I think for or against will get a lot of people confused. It says in which you argue. I'm trying to make television and movies reflect society or that they influence it. So you have side one, and you have side two. What do we think side one should be? All right. So I'm gonna help you out. In which you argue television and movies reflect society or that they influence it. So that means those are your two sides. Now the question is, what is they? So we're gonna change they. Television and movies influence what? Can anybody tell me what we're saying when we say television and movies influence? What are we saying? Are they influence people? Do they influence dogs, cats? What are we talking about them influencing? Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. What was that? Society. Okay. Society. Good job. Um, Entertainment was very close. But we stick with what we see in the passage, and there's nothing about entertainment right here. So, television and movies reflect society. What is society? Somebody tell me what society is, because that's a word that they'll use to trick us up a little bit. What is society? Community, people, okay? Everybody, citizens, okay? People and culture. I can't spell it. All right. So it says television reflect people and culture, and television and movies influence people and culture. So you're going to have to make a decision which one you choose. In order to do that, now you need to read the other one. Which one of these passages, we've only read one, can we say argues the first statement that television and movies reflect society and culture? Very good, Daquan. Society is about around the world. Which one of these is support the first passage? Which claim is supported by the first passage? I repeat it again. Which claim is supported by the first passage? Is it claim number one, television and movies reflect society, or that television and movies influence society? The first passage is supported by which claim? Or which claim is supported by the first passage? Is it one or two? Claim one. Okay, so we know that this is passage one. So as you're reading, read the question, read the prompt first. Read this little statement that says, write an argument about blank. Read it, decide what the two sides are, then determine, okay, disappear. Then determine which passage supports each one. So passage one, and then passage, well, we don't know if passage two supports it. So let's read passage two. Positive influence, please. Movies and television have the power to change society. Why? Because people like to imitate each other. In fact, people are wired to imitate babies, imitate the looks on parents' faces. Young children learn how to talk by imitation. Even teens and adults learn by imitation. They pick up social cues, they copy ways of speaking, they copy each other's clothes. They listen to each other's songs, they watch the latest movies and shows. They do to explore the world in a safe way. Partly, they do it to fit in with their peers. Mostly, they do it by instinct without thinking. Millions of people watch movies and shows because the characters on the screen are also people they can prompt the audience to imitate them. They can change people's behavior. For example, in the 1970s, women all over the world copied the hairdo of an actress in a television series. Anyone whose hair could be the famous flip, who could hold the famous flip wore the style. Similarly, in the 1990s, many young children learned the moves of the group of superheroes who appeared in both a television series and several full-length movies. Just like children, teens and adults copy speech patterns from movies and television shows. This imitation of language appears to be a more lasting effect. For example, could somebody please direct the people to the right passage while I'm reading, please? Because it should be on the screen. Is it not on the screen? Is the passage on the screen? Because I'm trying to figure out how we don't know the passage if it's on the screen. Y'all still see it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, I love to see everybody typing. Okay, it's on page 20 for you. Yeah, it's on the screen. Okay, I just wanted to make screen that me reading is pointless. Y'all just hearing words coming out of my mouth. All right, so and where was I? Well, because in as drama, characters on some shows are disrespectful. People who mistake movie and television scripts for real life copy these characters. As a result, disrespectful language is creeping into everyday speech. The same characters behave badly toward each other. They have changed some people's ideas about how to behave in family groups. However, are situation comedies and movies that have changed the society for better. Several popular high school dramas show people from different social groups getting along and making friends. These who good ideas about how to handle social problems and relationships. So we've read it. We obviously know that passage number 2 supports claim number 2. Now, here's the thing. When you write your opinion essay, you have to come up with several things. The first thing is your introduction, your claim, one, your claim 1, claim 2, and optional claim 3. Your counterclaim and counter argument and conclusion. All right, can what the difference between a counterclaim and a counter argument is? This is worth a few extra bonus dojo points. If you can tell me the difference between a counterclaim and counter argument, can anybody tell me the difference? Thanks, guys. What to find? What is the difference between a counterclaim and a counter argument? Where's my class though? I'm giving people points today. I have countries. I just unfortunately it was unfair to several countries because people decided to check out early and have a good time. I'm not mad at you. I'm just a little sad. So we will finish our countries on Monday. We got some cool challenges since I've had a little bit of extra time. Can anybody tell me the difference between a counter argument and a counter claim? So we got here. Oh, wants to take a chance on the counterclaim and counter argument. Right, counterclaim is oh, you're really. I think you worded it a little awkwardly, but I can see what you're trying to say. Okay, so okay, so Katha said a counterclaim is what the writer is opposing. Okay, so it's the other side, and the counter argument is what the other argument and the author stated. Close again. So a counter is the opposing argument. Okay. And your counter argument is when you say This is not true because. Okay? That's when you say the other side can't be right because this is right. Okay, that is the only thing I want to talk to you guys about today. When they ask the counterclaim. Okay, so if we chose number one, right? Number one says television and movies reflect society. That is our choice, right? Our intro would say television and blank and movies reflect society. We need three reasons, and we find out by doing what? What three reasons are stated in passage number one that support that movies and television reflect society? Okay, if we look at the passage, it says people enjoy stories about what the world because they connect with stories. Sometimes writer include elements of mighty in movies. Shows are set in the past. So they imitate life, making unreal characters seem real by making animals inhuman real and family problems and showing showing social issues in different time period. Right, so there, what would this be called? If it's in our intro and it states our claim and our reasons, what would this be called right here? Oh, I got some typers. What would this be called? Television and movies reflect society by making animals and inhuman characters real, imitating family problems, and showing social issues in different time periods. Yes, it tells. Um, very good. What is called? It's part of our intro. It states our reason, it states our claim, and our three supporting reasons. What is this called? I have some points for my people who showed us today. Alright, select multiple. So I'll call I saw Catha, saw Moncrief. Is Archer? Yeah, let's see Archer. The counter is the counter argument. The counter argument is argument that the author stated. Okay, I'll take that. It's almost the same now. Let's see, Isabella. Who else? Moncrief. Okay, that's it. Give feedback. All right, I'm still waiting on what's that called. Somebody tells me this It is called. It's in your introduction. I need to know. Who is this? Welcome. You know what? Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette. It is called our statement. Very good. All right, what else do we need in this intro to make it a intro? Can anybody complete the word? What do we need? Complete the word. I already gave you 2 letters. Oh no. Who's gonna get it? All right, Bernadette. In school on a off day. I'm proud of you guys. Who else is in here? Wait, well, those go down here. Supporting details go under your claims and your optional third claim. You have a thesis in your intro and a what? Starts with an H. What do we need? Wait, no. Okay, waiting. I'm being patient. What is it? Oh no. I love to see you all typing at the same time. You have a thesis statement and you need one more thing in your introduction. Where are your notes? It starts with an H. Oh no, I almost spelled it for you. What is it? All right, it's a hook. Turn up. Thanks, Katha. Finally, we got there. It's a hook. All right, a hook. You can have a quote, a question, or a unique expression. And you guys love quote. You guys love the question, but I suggest maybe you try something a little bit different. Maybe start with a quote from the passage. You can say, millions of people watch movies and shows. Bingo. There you go. Wonderful. You know, you can go into your statement that says, Television and movies reflect society by making animals and human characters real, imitating family problems, and showing social issues in different time periods. Claim. What is the counterclaim? It is obviously the other side of the argument that they don't reflect society, they influence it. So we would say, however, some feel that television reflects influences rather than reflects. Now, the problem, sometimes we know what these words mean, and sometimes we don't. Means that you have an impact on something, that you make it happen. Reflect means you act like something. So they're saying, instead of us having TV shows that look like people, the people start acting like the TV show. You simply find a quote from the passage that says that and support it, and then explain why that's not true. You go back and you could say, in other words, the plot is really human drama. It reflects society by portraying true family relationships, and you can use an example from what you have read. But remember, from the text, okay? The counter argument is when you say this is not true because that is the thing I wanted to teach today. If you guys would like to try it out and you want me to send it to you, send it. That's fine. I'm going to give you or let you read. We're going to go over the example of the 7 response. Okay. They did exactly what I told you guys to do. They chose a statement straight from the passage. People enjoy telling stories and hearing stories about people, places in the world. Television and stories as a form of entertainment and education. It is difficult to determine if they influence in our society. Wow. They state a thesis statement, but they told why it's difficult to choose. They go through and they explain both sides. Now, the only problem with you guys doing this is that sometimes we forget what we're talking about. So I would not suggest that you summarize both sides and explain. But if you read their conclusion, they took the time and they went through both passages, and it says, in all cultures, sharing stories with others is a way these societies maintain their heritage and sense of self. Therefore, it seems more reasonable to say that movies and television reflect society than to say that they influence it. So by them reasoning out each one, they were able to come to their conclusion. This is a very complex. Therefore, I suggest, unless you are ready for it, that you stick to our 1, 2, 3 model. Okay? Don't get overwhelmed. If you would like to go through this and practice writing yours on your own, I suggest you give yourself about 25 minutes to do it. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. Make sure that you go through your reading for the day and complete that. Good job. Completed yours. Our average, let me see if I can go back to our classroom real quick. Our average for passage number 1 was 59%. Right now, our average score for passage number 2 is 53%. Okay. I 5%. So if we could take our time, I'm only seeing 2 annotations, my dear babies. Please take the time and annotate your passages. The more you annotate, the more you read and understand. So I can exit review mode. Hold on. All you have is highlight and explain. Highlight and explain. My suggestion is that for each major section, each paragraph, you summarize what it's about. It will help you understand. Before you answer a question, always go back in the passage and look for the answers. All right. If anybody has any other questions you would like me to answer in the video, please let me know. If not, I will save it here. And you guys can go back to the link that I put in Google Classroom. Let me answer Kathy's question. It says, so can it be in second person? For example, have you ever wondered? If that is your hook and that's the only question, yes. However, I suggest that you try not to. I said that's why I said I don't like the question thing. If you can use a quote, you want us to write the essay or type it on here? No, you do not have to. That is your choice. That is just for some people to practice. I know they need extra practice with their essays, and some of their parents have nicely asked me to give them something to do during the day, so I wanted to make sure that they had something. I really want you to practice reading and answering. Our goal is a 75%. Everybody who participates will get class dojo points. I've already awarded points for people who are in class today. If you were here today, if you just type your name in the chat so that I know you're here, that's how I can take attendance and make sure everybody got their points for today. Does anybody have any other questions? Alrighty. Well, if you guys do not have any other questions, then I am going to leave you all. And I will talk to you guys later. All right. Have a good one. Send me a message. Like I said, I will be on Messenger until 2 o'clock. Okay? Have a great day.